Give it here. Give it here.
This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Parrott, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
This is Brian Edward Hill, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of Capes and Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
And there came a day like any other. No, not like any other. When the menace of Bendis arose, and it took more than one podcaster to face his Bendisness. All right, Capes and Lunatics episode 139 starts right now. Petty. Anyway, welcome back to the Capes and Lunatics. I am Petty Ross. No, I am Phil. Joining me as always. I think she, like the sword from the stone, she just pulled that knife out of that gator in Florida, is
the Queen of Florida, Lil Hellfire. What's up?
And the pretty prince of New Jersey,
Charlie, the Professor Esser. My professorship is in air.
He turned like right to the camera. It's like he was on a soap opera. Charlie Esser.
I'm beautiful, Phil. I don't apologize for that.
I don't know how you pretty people do it.
Constant struggle.
Alrighty, we're here again. So, all right. Can anyone explain to me why we're still trying to make this New Mutants thing happen? This movie.
Hey, Disney has endorsed it.
It's happening.
I know.
It's part of the MCU, apparently. They probably just did a few reworks and slap an MCU label on it. It's fine. Nobody really cares. It's fine.
No, I don't.
Can't they just throw this on Freeform for 31 days of Halloween or whatever the hell? Like put it on after Halloween Town. Like, can we just do that instead?
Listen, Marvel would not be endorsing it if it was not endorsable. They have no problem distancing themselves from stuff.
I just don't understand why they just said start. I mean, I know money considerations, but just start it from scratch. Even if you want to use the same actors,
Well, no, this, for all you know, this is starting from scratch. This is New Mutants. This is the New Mutants. This is our first introduction to the characters and the concept. We're getting a little Hellfire Club stuff here. We see they've got the guy with the little faceless mask. And that's that's what it is. And I'm excited about it, quite frankly.
But if it's like MCU, are we really going to do New Mutants before like X-Men?
Yes, because who cares about the X-Men? They suck.
Get out, Charlie. Get out right now.
No one likes the X-Men. That's why they put them all on that island. No, here's what I'll say about New Mutants. Where the heck's Cypher without your pants on? Well, I actually am wearing pants today for once. At a certain point, it just becomes more work to take them off. No socks though. No, here's the thing with New Mutants is there's no Cypher and there's no Warlock. So I don't know. That's a big red flag to me. But aside from that, and again, maybe we just haven't seen them yet in the trailer.
Well, it's funny because the New Mutants comic book is actually pretty good right now. Mm-hmm. If anybody's reading it.
Look, let me break this down to you. This has Colossus's sister. The only character we know from the Fox universe that is coming over to the MCU is Deadpool, and thereby Colossus. So they are going to be establishing our mutant wing, starting with the New Mutant. So I mean that's my takeaway. That's my takeaway from it. Is like, yeah, there's the New Mutants. These are the New Mutants. Now maybe we're gonna find out that there have been X-Men, that there is this clandestine school somewhere, but this is gonna be our new White Queen, our new Emma Frost, because that's who runs the Hellfire Club's mutant division training school. And yeah, and that's they're gonna build their own new thing here. And I think that Disney wouldn't be putting the Marvel Imperator on it if they were just releasing it as a contractual obligation. Because nothing, they didn't actually have to release it. It was Fox's money. Fox just dumped all the money in it.
Yeah.
So Disney had to sit there, look at what they had, and decide, okay, is this a straight to DVD? Is this going to get released on Disney Plus? Is just filler? We're going to put this on Hulu. What are we going to do with this thing? And what they decided was, you know what? There's enough here, and we like the story enough that we're going to call this part of the MCU. We can make that part of the MCU, and then we're going to push it as part of the MCU. And that's where we're at now. And that's like the biggest story of this thing, because I think this thing would have died on the vine if it was not for that. Because I think there was such low expectations for it, it would not have gotten to be what it's going to be, except for the fact that
Hey man,
Disney
even Marvel has Inhumans. Is
Ooh.
all that I'm gonna say.
Ooh. Ooh.
So
Dare you.
I don't know. There's never been anything with the Inhuman. I mean, a little bit through Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but there's no other notable project with Inhumans.
I just mean you're talking about just because they put their name on it, it's going to be good. That's just my point.
Well, no. See, they had to put their name on Inhuman because they had produced it. This was one where they didn't have to put their name on it. They didn't have to say this is MCU. They could have just let it be what everyone expected it to be, which is something. So I get the feeling, here's my actual belief. I get the feeling when they were writing New Humans and there was talk and grapevine, I think there was this thought that, let's write this with some back doors in case we get bought. Let's use some things that, as luck would have it, we have this extra footage here that, we're going to mention Stark Technologies and, the work of Dr. David Banner and, finding the...
Look, man, sometimes it's okay to just burn the film and collect the insurance money. Is all that I'm saying.
I know, but see what I'm saying, Lilith, is Disney knows that. Trust me, this would not be the first film that Disney has locked away in the vault, never to be heard of again. They made a conscious choice to say this is going to be part of the MCU.
Or do they just not want to hear, release the New Mutants cut for the next 5 years?
They don't care.
I know.
They care about as much about that as Warner's cares about release the Snyder Cut. It's like, yeah, sure, if you're going to pay us, sure, we'll put out a special DVD with the quote-unquote Snyder Cut, which apparently only Jason
Just
Momoa
unpolished turd.
Yeah, well,
It's just an unpolished turd like the rest of it. But anyway,
Ooh.
all I know is the New Mutants comic book is actually good.
New
And you
Mutants
should
comic
read it.
book is actually
It's only 5 issues in. Yeah.
Well, there you go then. Marvel's putting out some good stuff now, here and there.
I don't know. Are they going to go to an island at the end of the movie?
No one is going to Krakoa ever. That island is going to sink, and we're going to call it a day. It'll be part of history, but that island is. I mean, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I get what Hickman is doing. I get what he's doing. I get what he's building. But it has to stop.
The minute the X-Men.
Yeah, the old fans are just kind of like, all right, we gave you a chance.
The minute
Get out.
The minute the X-Men show up in the MCU, they're getting rid of that, the whole Krakoa thing, and
yeah. Well, it's just to establish. It's an establishing shot. It's like I said. I'm surprised it's lasted. Well, here's what I'll say. I get why it's lasted as long as it has because they want to tell this epic arc, and it's an epic arc. And honestly, if I was an X-Men fan, I bet I would love it. But I'm not that much of an X-Men fan to start with, so it's like it just seems like a lot a lot of story that I know isn't going to go anywhere, because I know at the end of the day they've got to put the toys back in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Because Charles Xavier, creepy as he is, can't be constantly cloning himself. You know, we can't have all these clones running around. What is this? Is Otto Octavius running Krakoa now? And John, for nothing, is Mr. Sinister even a mutant?
I think so, isn't he?
Yeah.
I thought he was just a scientist.
Why would you?
I thought he was just I thought he was just a scientist, like freaking High Evolutionary. I thought him and High Evolutionary were just like buddies, you know.
Who just gave him gave himself a bad name, you know, Mr. Bad Guy.
Oh, I know, Mr. Left-handed. That's all. He was left-handed, you know.
Yeah, he's got
What?
psychokinesis, and he's pretty
You
much
don't like
almost
lefties?
immortal. So I would say a mutant, right?
No, because there's lots of people that are immortal in the Marvel Universe who aren't mutants.
Well, he's
And
got
that-
psychokinesis and telepathy and superhuman strength too. So I don't know.
Yeah, but if he's just doing it with like freaking patches, that's you know, like I said, he doesn't have to be a mutant to be manipulating mutants. And my understanding was Mr. Sinister wasn't a mutant. My understanding was that he was just a scientist who discovered mutant X genes and just started having fun with them. You know.
I was pretty sure he was a mutant, but okay.
But I don't know. I don't read the books that much.
Maybe
so,
they
you know,
changed it. It's
you
gone
guys
through
would know
changes.
more than I
but-
would. I just never thought he was a mutant, because nothing in his backstory told me he was a mutant. Because everything in his backstory seems to be about genetic manipulation, which is the opposite of mutation. So
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure, but it's like, why would he be on Krakoa if he's not a mutant, though? Oh, someone must have asked this because
because he's in the X books, and also for what it's worth, he's like the one guy who knows everything about mutants. So
all right.
Why do you need him in?
It came up on Google because people must be asking this. So explain this to me. Sinister is armed with a number of mutant abilities, though he himself is not technically a mutant. Rather, when Apocalypse transformed Essex into Mr. Sinister, Essex acquired mutant traits, making him a mutate.
Okay, which means he's like the Fantastic
So he's like
Four.
an artificial mutant. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not a mutant, and he's also a bad guy. But they're also aligning with Apocalypse, so it's like, you know what? At a certain point, you gotta say, maybe this isn't right. Maybe not all mutants are equal, but maybe some are more equal. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's not the bad guys, because basically, when you start hanging out with the bad guys, guess what? That makes you a bad guy. When 7 people have dinner with a Nazi, there are 7 Nazis at the table.
Say hello to the bad guy.
I'm just saying, you know, freaking Apocalypse and Sinister are freaking Nazis. I think, like, canonically have been in the past too.
Right.
So I don't know. You know, I'm just saying.
All right.
They shouldn't be hanging together.
Yes, I know. All right, let's move on. Speaking of MCU Marvel movies. So director Scott Derrickson has left Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
But he's staying on as producer.
Executive producer, yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, but it
Probably
means
some
that
contractual obligation.
Creative differences, it said.
Well, you know what? It sounds like there was basically what it sounds like is he had a deadline, and he did not like deadlines. And you know who also didn't like deadlines? Josh Trank. So you know what? Vaya con Dios. You know what? If you can't do it on the schedule, we love ya like a play cousin, but Yowdy 5000, to quote Black Nerd, because that's the thing. It's like
Black nerd comedy, yeah.
Yeah, Black Nerd, he's great. He's always awesome. He loved cats.
You know, he was on that the movie that made Movies That Made Us. Great commentary. And did you see the cats thing? I was so worried for him for a minute. I was just like,
no,
I think the movie broke home.
No, I knew he was gonna. First off, I'd have to see the film.
Oh.
I think we all.
I watched it
I think
specifically
now,
so his commentary would make sense. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the only reason why. It's honestly, it is what it is. Andre, that's his name. I was blanking on his actual name, Andre. I don't know his last name, but Andre Comedy. Yeah, he liked cats in the way that, you know, sometimes you just gotta like something, even though it's bad for you. But yeah, we talked about cats in the last episode. Unless you have a lot to add to it.
No.
You know, I just, like I said, I think they should have just skipped the CGI, just put them in cat suits. You know,
Told you, Shade.
and
Well, there's two versions now, and you can be the judge.
They should have won.
There's two versions of cats floating around. You can be the judge.
Should have won.
I just, you know, I love cats just because to me, I always think of Caroline in the City. Because her best friend was in the chorus of cats and like had just been in the chorus of cats for so long, and it was just like her job. She was a professional cat, and I just loved that. And then like in the later seasons, she got cut, you know, and it's like, no, I'm always part of the cats. You know, I don't get cut. I'm always here. It's like, nope, not anymore. Professional cat. It was great. Caroline in the City was the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt of the 90s. What are we going to talk about? Do you want to talk about Seth MacFarlane or?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess. NBC has wooed Seth MacFarlane away from Fox.
Okay. Well, you know, he's
Not
still
a big
doing Orville. I mean, he's not ending Orville or Family Guy or American Dad.
You sure?
You know,
Well, he doesn't really do much on Family Guy anymore except for voice work. Same thing with American Dad. So,
but you know, and to be fair, between American Dad, American Dad is on Cartoon Network, which is owned by Warner's.
No, it's on TBS. It's on TBS.
Oh, it's
yes,
on TBS. That's Turner. No. Turner is AOL Time Warner.
TBS bought it. Yeah, TBS bought it a long time ago.
Yeah, no. But TBS, because I remember back in the day with the early days when Disney first rose. I remember there was AOL and there was Time Warner and there was Turner, and they first merged and then came in Disney and swallowed them whole and became the Conqueror World. Yes, and so yeah, so that is all. Oh wait, no, that's. I actually fell into the wrong trap there. No, there was AOL Time Warner and Disney didn't. No, ABC is Disney. Don't mind me. I'm forgetting who. But Turner is part of AOL Time Warner. It was AOL Time Warner Turner, and then yeah, and so that is Warner Brothers. I don't pay attention if I'm not talking. Yeah, I don't pay attention when I'm talking. But yeah, the other Skynet, who actually has a Skynet now. Did you hear about that, Lilith? The AI program that will be greenlighting projects at Warner's from now on.
It hasn't all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Turner was its own thing though, because it owns like CNN and all that. I thought it was its own thing.
No, Turner is part of it. Turner is part of the AOL. The AOL. I mean, they're an equal partner.
I thought the AI,
but yeah, they're part of it. They're part of it.
I thought the AI was doing
it.
I thought that's how you're getting birds of prey.
Yeah. But no, so they have a computer now at Warner's that's going to be greenlight. I actually think removing people from the process might help Warner's. Just going to go out on a limb.
The only person I want removed from DC, Dido. There, I said it.
Oh, Mister, we're not going to ship any more Black Label books until we're sure we got the scheduling down.
Well, but no. But to be fair, the timing for a lot of comic books across a lot of companies, because I don't just do the big two. I know that a couple of other companies were having problems with that too, and it's just because so many of the artists and the writers have to, do so many books just to squeak by that. Yeah. Well, what do you expect?
Yeah. Well, exactly, and here's the thing. This is something that's always been the case. I was listening to the Wait What podcast recently, and they were talking about, no one ever talks about how the last issue of Watchmen came out a year past when it was supposed to.
Doomsday Clock. Yeah.
Oh, Phil
No,
and I
no,
talked
Watchmen.
about it.
Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh.
actual Watchmen.
Yeah.
The actual original Watchmen back in the 90s or the 80s, whenever that came out, actually, like, the last book was, like, super late. And no one ever talks about it because now you just read it in trade. And so no one talks about how late something came out. So at the end of the day, first I'm saying we're not going to ship until we know it's supposed to ship. That's just ridiculous. It sounds like it sounds like, honestly, the Black Label prints weren't making the money they thought they would. Because selling graphic novels in the stores every month probably isn't going to have the kind of cachet that selling graphic novels every quarter would.
What, $8 books aren't going to just fly off the shelf?
Apparently not, Honestly, I think I bought my last one with that incoming thing. So
yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Fool me twice, Marvel. Shame on me.
Hey, that incoming was like $2 more than those oversized Harleen issues. So,
well, yeah, and but that's the thing. It's like I think that if you like Harleen or you like that other book because they had another Joker book.
Oh, they got a
right?
couple Joker books.
Yeah, they got a couple Black Label
books. Harley and Joker.
If you liked those, then that was a thing. But if you weren't into that, then what is that? That's like a big, expensive book that's taking up a lot of shelf space. And it kind of almost puts DC in that indie book area where it's like, oh yeah, we make this really elite book and we put out one a quarter or one a month, and and it's like, okay, but if that doesn't have a demand for it, who are you selling it to?
Well, that's do you see that too? I guess Dido says they canceled. They had solicited a lot of collections that they were going to put out stuff, and they canceled all those.
Because he's a terrible leader. He doesn't know what he's doing. Get him out of there. I'm so over it. I'm so over Dido. I don't even know what to do.
I guess they're taking the volume numbers off.
It's just one bad decision after another, after another, after another.
Like they numbered the spines. Like
there has to be some accountability somewhere, right?
Yeah, but they had the volume numbers on the spine, like volume 1, volume 2, and I guess he said they're taking those off because higher numbered ones weren't selling. It's like.
Maybe it wasn't that the numbers weren't selling. Maybe the content just wasn't good.
Well, obviously, it's always about
crazy theory.
Crazy
theory.
If you're not telling a good story, it's not going to be popular.
But we spent an obscene amount on the Bendis.
Bendis. Well, that was
I told y'all we're going to try to be nicer to Mr. Bendis.
No,
in 2020.
He's going to say this about Mr. Bendis. He's got his nut. He's fine. They bought the books. He's writing the books. He is completing his contractual obligation. He's putting out books. Some people like the book. Some people don't. That's fine. If you don't like the books, you don't have to buy them. That's no skin off Bendis's nose.
Exactly.
And it's like they hired me to write Superman. I'm writing Superman. If you don't like what I'm writing with Superman, go watch Star Wars. That's what it comes down to. It's like, if you want to spend your money on something else, there's lots of books. Go read a Batman book. But if you like what I'm doing, this is what I'm going to do, and it's God bless him.
I mean, you can't take it too seriously.
Well, let's not take it that far.
But is that like the attitude shift? Because I swear back in the day they were like, oh hey guys, come in, I think you're gonna love some of our product, if not, rate us in the letters pages, let us know what you don't like, but nowadays it's just like, oh, you don't like what we're doing, go somewhere else.
Well, no, it just
that's what I have done for the last year and a half. I've picked up more Archie, more Dark Horse, more Image, more other things, alternate comics.
Well, yeah, and
Philip.
And to be fair, I'm saying that from Bendis's perspective. Bendis's perspective, like I said, he already cast the check.
No,
if they tell him,
but he's also making a lot of enemies in the readership too. It's just like, I don't know about.
No, trust me, Bendis can go back. Bendis can go back to Marvel tomorrow and write Jessica.
Yeah, let him go back to Marvel, please. That's what I mean. In DC though, we hold grudges. So,
well, maybe that's your problem.
Ooh.
Maybe if you didn't hold
No,
so
not
many
really.
grudges, you could have a John Byrne rating for you. No. I mean, I'm just saying. It's like, if you get mad about it, I look at all the things
I'm not mad about it. I just don't buy it, and it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's fine. But so here's what I'll say. They said, "Oh, can you do me? Can you do us a solid? We'll pay you a lot of money. Can you write a bunch of Superman books?" He says, "Sure. Can you do me a favor? I want to, put out a Wonderline. I want to get a bunch of my really talented friends to write a lot of stories. I'll put my name on it. I'll do a Stan Lee for it, But we're gonna build out a bunch of great characters and a bunch of great stories, and I'll write these Superman books too." So you have to take Bendis as a whole and look at what he's doing for the industry, and maybe even what he's doing for DC. If you don't like if you don't like what he's doing with Superman, that's fine. Eventually someone else will write Superman, and if you don't like Rogol Zar or whatever his name is, you never have to hear from him again. But, for what it's worth, anytime someone creates a character, they kind of push it down your throat. So it's like anytime there's the
But that was a sledgehammer. It's not always with the sledgehammer. I like subtlety, which is not his strong suit, apparently.
Well, then if it's not his strong suit.
The Rogol Zars and the Leviathans, I can forgive, but it's just like every time he comes on a book, he has to reinvent the wheel. Every time. And it's like, do you really?
Well, every writer does that. Every writer has to reinvent
their own take on it.
It's not such a dramatic shift, though.
Yeah. I mean, you could put your own take on it and not, you don't have to age up people's kids and send them the, future.
Yes, you do. Have you not read Fantastic Four?
Well, and then they age them.
What age is Franklin? What age is Franklin Richards? I'm just going to ask you that right now.
But he doesn't leave his family.
No one knows. He's an enigma. It's fine.
Off the future boarding school either.
Yes, they actually literally did that. They actually literally had Nathaniel Richards kidnap him, take him to the future, bring him back as adult Franklin Richards, and then they just undid it all because reasons. Because you can do that in a comic book. If you don't like older Jonathan Kent, you can go back in time and bring him back before he even left. Because it was bitches. It's like,
and that is truly Bendis' slogan, okay? That is truly Bendis' slogan, and I don't know how I feel about that. He can go. I need him to go back to Marvel, write some Miles Morales or some Jessica Jones.
And again,
Marvel, please.
And again, I get shaking up the status quo, keeping it fresh, but it's like, does every time he get on a book, does he have to do something that's going to have to be turned around the next time?
What if someone decides to do that? Here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, I don't know what Superman sales are. I don't know what they were before Bendis. I don't know what they are after Bendis.
They were decent. I mean, Superman has been on the decline because America just doesn't like Superman anymore. It's a thing. But it was decent enough.
Well,
and now it's kind of like,
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen this. I go to 4 different comic book shops a week, and I don't think I've ever seen that many Superman books on a shelf in my life. And, I mean, maybe this section doesn't like Superman, but 4 different ones in 4 different areas of a very large city. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, does he usually have 4 books? I mean, how many books does Superman? How many Superman family books?
No, I just mean like 4, not books. There's a lot of Superman books on the shelf, like from the week, but like the whole month of books are just sitting there. A lot of them, just a lot. It's worrying.
But that could also mean that Warner's is making people buy extra books, and they have to have the extra books on the shelf. Unless you're going to look at what is it, the Blue Diamond, the Black Diamond numbers, where you can say, okay, this is how many books.
And those aren't that reliable, to be honest. Everybody kind of knows that.
I mean, none of it's reliable. Here's what I'll say. Warner's knows if they're losing money on the proposition. And if they were losing money on the proposition, I don't think they'd still be moving forward with it.
Yeah, but
because it seems to me, or maybe, like I said, maybe it isn't even the Superman, it's everything else Bendis is bringing to the books like other artists and creators who are building out a new generation of DC fans.
I mean, Greg Rucka is having success with Wonder Woman, Lois Lane.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe it's like, like I said, maybe here's what I'll tell you. Maybe Bendis' real calling is as an editor-in-chief. Maybe where Bendis needs to be is that guy sort of getting other people together and directing them towards a grander image. Like maybe writing a Superman book isn't his calling, but it's getting him in the door and allowing him to put out a whole imprint of comics that really are showing up DC's bottom line at this moment. I'm just going to say that as a theory.
That's right.
I don't know.
That's right. Let's punish him by promoting him upstairs.
Well, no.
Well, basically, for a creative, being in a leadership position a lot of the times is very annoying, and they don't thrive well in it because it's a lot more pressure, and it's a lot different skill set.
Not for nothing, Jim Shooter did his best work as editor.
Take a drink.
Man,
I knew you were going to say Shooter.
Look, I'm just saying.
With you. You were going to say it.
Every so often, there's a person who can lead a company. And for what it's worth, Bendis has really, he wasn't editor-in-chief, but he was definitely an architect of what Marvel did at a lot of points when he was the golden boy at Marvel. I think he can lead people very well. And so I think putting Bendis in charge of DC, so you want to get rid of Dido, putting Bendis in charge might be the way to go.
Oh, that's a good hey Lilith, who'd you rather have, Dido or Bendis in charge?
Just shoot me now.
Well, no, I'll give you this. So he stopped writing Superman when he's in charge of DC.
Yes, he's not. But if Bendis is in charge, he's not writing anything. So who'd you rather have?
He's going to let David F. Walker write Superman.
What?
Well,
No,
I don't
so
want that
there you
either.
go.
Hey, no offense. No offense. That's not who I want. Like I'm for Superman, and that's not part of it. As much as I love him.
Okay. Well, he's probably, unless you've met him, he's probably not going to hire you to write Superman. I'm just going to say that.
Exactly.
I mean, now honestly, I think if you ever met,
I don't want to write for Superman. God no.
It's meeting you and you guys becoming best friends forever. I think if you met Bendis, I get the feeling Bendis would say, why don't you write a comic book at DC for me? Who do you want to write?
Wonder Woman! Please, love of God. The Trinity is in such disrepair. I can't. My heart can't take it anymore. I can't look. I can't wreck anymore.
I don't know, man. I all I know is I like what they're doing with Wonder Woman over in Justice League Dark. And I think maybe that's the real key. You have to find the one book that actually speaks to you and then just read that, and everything else just doesn't exist. So from my perspective, there's only one book that's put out by DC. It's called Justice League Dark. It's a great book. I enjoy it. It's wonderful. And I don't know, people say there's other books that DC puts out, but I've never seen them. So how am I supposed to believe that?
Well, speaking of the comics, should we get to
talk comics? Like I'm like chomping at the bit over here.
That's what I was going to say. Why don't we get to the comics? Nice segue, Charlie.
Corner.
King of the segues, Charlie.
Yes, well, that's why I'm the professor. Someone's got to keep this show on track, Philip. So let's talk about
Don't you talk to our Regis like that?
The best acquisition that Disney has ever made: Conan the Barbarian and the entire Howardverse. Just everything they're putting Conan in is golden right now.
So what are you talking about? Serpent War, Savage Avengers, or both?
I gotta go. You know what? Let's take a moment to talk about Serpent War right now.
Okay.
Because that is the Howardverse with special guest star Moon Knight.
That's right.
So this has got to be in a lot of people's sweet spot, at least in Australia. I love the entire idea of slipping Moon Knight into the Howardverse because he is like, if Howard wrote a superhero, it might look a lot like Moon Knight.
Mm.
And I love the fact that they which I kind of got from issue 2. It's like, oh, Seth's not really the bad guy, is he? Spoilers. And the idea that, oh, maybe there's a bigger bad, sort of like Galactus being a force of nature kind of thing. It's like, yeah, I know you all hate Galactus, and yeah, he's a villain, but you know what? There's actually a balance to the universe, and there's a reason there is both a Set and a Gaia, and both gods should be so powerful on this little blue orb called Earth.
Oh.
You know, and the idea where they're taking that Howard verse, and man, Disney, please just promise me you lock these rights down. Promise me you really invest in this, because you are putting so many delicious eggs in this basket. And they're great eggs, don't get me wrong. These are grade A jumbo eggs. And they're all in this Conan Howard basket. And I don't want you to drop them like you did in the 80s.
I think it's Disney. I don't think at this point that they're not losing any rights unless they want to lose them.
Well, you know what? Marvel lost the rights to Red Sonja, okay? A character they created. I don't trust anyone to do
Well, they
this.
sold them. Was it back when they needed the money?
Yeah, probably. Well, and actually, no, they didn't sell Red Sonja. Red Sonja went over with Conan.
Yeah.
Like, somehow the Howards, it's not even like under the Howard banner, which is how they got everybody else from Howard over.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have Red Sonja, because Red Sonja is actually owned by Red Sonja LLC.
We talked about this, Philip. Go listen to the previous episode.
I know.
Scroll down. Yeah, Lilith informed us, and I believe Lilith.
But Lilith, are you reading Serpent War?
No,
I thought for Conan.
I was gonna wait for the trade, actually.
Okay. There's one more.
There's only one more.
Yeah, there's only one more issue. It's only 4.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
But it's really good. It's really good. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that first issue where it's like, oh, here's this character, here's this character.
Setup. Yeah.
That is a slog. The first issue is a slog. Second issue picks right up.
Time travel.
Third issue is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know. I live for exposition, so I'm okay with the slog.
okay, yeah, and let me put it this way: if you like Howard's characters, they really like turn right into that skid. And you're like, oh, that guy, oh, that woman, oh, that character, and it's like that's like got to be if you're a Howard nerd, this is like, oh yes, oh, it's like watching The Mandalorian. It's fun. Oh, that's the reference. I get that, you know. I understood
reference.
That reference. Oh, anyway, but yeah, so that's great. And then you have Savage Avengers right on top of that, where Conan is just 1,000% just absolute Conan, and he's just. I love the hubris of Conan.
The book is basically Conan and whoever decides to show up that month.
Yeah, well, and that's why it's a good book.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit, just a little bit. It's kind of like the Red Hood and the Outlaws book. It's just like, well, you know whose name's right there, basically.
Savage.
Guaranteed to see him every issue. So.
Well, you know what? You got to lean into your strengths, and Conan.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm okay with that.
So yeah, and just like I said, everything Conan touches is really good. I mean, I don't know how the other Hyborian Age characters that they're like the new characters they've created are doing. Belit, and then there's one other one that they just Valeria. I don't know how they're doing. It's funny because I'm not really a sword and sorcery kind of guy as far as characters, but Conan is in this little magic spot for sword and sorcery characters where, and maybe it's all up to Arnold, but it really hits you how cool this character is.
But I'm here for the team of Conan and Dr. Doom.
Oh yeah, Conan and Dr. Doom.
Yes.
Well, first off, what I love, the best part about Conan and Dr. Doom is just how little respect Conan has for Dr. Doom.
And like Doom's Doom, but like he's not as lippy as usual to Conan because he knows, I don't think I want to angry this guy.
He'll get knocked in the head.
Yeah, because not for nothing, it's not like Doom would be the first sorcerer who he's taken the head off.
Mhm.
You know, and honestly, the whole haha, that was only a Doom bot. I'm starting to think those aren't Doom bots. I think Doom just does an auto Octavius a lot. He just has a backup clone.
Hey, Doom has jumped bodies before. Remember in that John Byrne era, he jumped
We're all Rick Sanchez,
right out of his
damn
own
it.
body. The ones can get
Yeah.
killed.
Well, no, and for what it's worth, I mean, I don't even think he started that. I think it actually was established before.
Oh no, that
I think-
that was like Stan Lee era, I think. Yeah, when he learned how to
Yeah, that was he learned that from the Ovid.
Yeah.
The first time he does it, it's with Reed
Richards, yeah.
But yeah, it's because Byrne loves to bring back classic stuff. That's his shtick.
Byrne.
You know? Byrne. But the idea that, you know, Conan is just totally unafraid, because Conan's view of life is, if I die, I die.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and whatever that means, like, fine, okay, I died. I'm glad I died with a sword in my hand. In fact, for what it's worth, like his curse, the curse that Crumb places on him is, "You will die in bed, an old man." It's like, no, because to Conan, that's like the worst thing ever. And yeah, just Conan's awesome. Disney, please tell me you're actually doing something with Conan outside of the comics. Just come on. You know, I know he's not always had the
Disney
best.
Plus 2022, but that's just between us hens.
No, you know, I hope so, man. I want to see Conan. And
You got to put it out into the universe, Charlie. You got to put it out to the universe.
Oh, Charlie. Remember
let's look for it out.
Charlie, remember last week we were talking that the big news was they said in Doctor Strange 2 there's going to be a character you wouldn't ordinarily.
Oh, could they introduce Conan?
Multiverse.
I mean, if they have the film rights, they could.
In the multiverse of madness. Multiverse.
And with Scarlet Witch, who now has a tie with Conan.
Boom! You heard it right here first, folks.
Mark Phil's words.
Multiverse of madness. That's all I'll say.
So Conan. Oh man. Oh, Christian Bale.
Plot twist, it's really Miles
Bale.
Morales.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, Christian Bale's in negotiations to appear in the next Thor movie.
Maybe, you know. Oh man, I would love to see. I mean, that's like, who is Christian Bale? And everyone's going, oh, he's going to be
Beta Ray Bill.
freaking Beta Ray Bill.
That's too obvious.
Thunderstrike.
And also, there's already going to be someone else. It's like, could everyone pick up my dang hammer but me?
Well, I guess it's
here's what I got to say about Love and Thunder. I just want a mention that, yeah, well, you know, we had Steve pick up the pieces. You know? Yeah, well, or no, what they have to say is like, you know, how did we get the Majolder pieces here? Since we can't move them. Like, well, the director picked them up.
Well, easiest answer, once Hela destroys the hammer, what if all the enchantment leaves the pieces?
That's not how magic works.
Well, Hela was magic. Why couldn't drive the magic out of it?
Well, why should she?
Well, so no one can come on and pick up.
To be spiteful and hateful?
I don't know. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, I think it's better that just all the pieces are just as, you can only pick up each piece if you're worthy. I think that's a much better story. And for what it's worth, in the comics, they established that like the one last piece of Mjolnir that Thor was holding, and it was so heavy in his hand.
You see citizen Steve Rogers just picking up pieces of there.
Pick them up, put it in the basket, bump. You know?
Old people like to recycle.
Yeah, well, yeah, but to me, that's just perfect because they still have Steve Rogers in this universe, and you know he's the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. This guy has to do something. He's retired, but he's not. You know, he's a spry 207. Putting him in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. makes perfect sense. You know, and for what it's worth, even Robert Downey Jr. said, "Yeah, I'll come back if they want me to." You know, it's like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I did see you put that article up. Here's what I'm thinking. You know, Robert Downey Jr. was saying, you know, I'm getting kind of sick of playing Tony Stark. It's been 10, 11 years. So maybe they were like, okay, how about this? At the end of Endgame, we kill off your character. You go off and do your Dr. Doolittles and whatever else. And then, you know, you want to come back in 5 years or so. We can resurrect you, you know.
Well, exactly, and he knows that. He knows that, and and every so often you miss the money truck. It's not even about the money anymore. You just like the sound.
He's still going to be making money now. He's doing Dr. Doolittle. You don't think people are going to go see that? He could do another Sherlock Holmes movie. Sherlock. He comes back and say, "I want to do Sherlock."
People will go see Sherlock. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, I'm actually really excited about Dr. Doolittle.
I can't make money, but
Lilith doesn't have kids, so she doesn't understand that yet. Or maybe I don't know.
So that's what I think.
Not to presume your future, Lilith, but yeah, when Tris wants to see that, and I want to see it too.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is when you have kids, you get to go see stupid.
Yeah,
kids
you're gonna get a lot of kids and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm sure Robert Downey Jr. is like, I want to do stuff either for his kids or his grandkids.
Well, that's what I'm.
His grandkids. His kids are like my age. Like, well, not that old, but a little bit younger. So grandkids.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's.
Oh, that was like the most disturbing part about reading Black Cat this week.
Oh, Black Cat number 8. Oh, her mother. Yeah, I know. It's like, where the hell?
Yeah, it's like, well, what do you mean in 80s? Why are you suggesting that this old person should go on an 80s cruise? Why would that old person want to go on an 80s cruise? I don't understand what you're implying here, Miss Hardy.
It's just like, when it turned 2020, they're like, the 90s were so long ago. Well, the 80s were even longer. So, hashtag deal with it, Charlie.
Are you suggesting something as I stroke my white beard? Now, you can't see the white from this angle, but there.
I do it twice on weekends.
No, but it's just like that was
okay.
That for a book I love, that was the hardest part about reading that.
But yeah, no.
I have a question.
What?
Yes.
Who is star number 1 for? Like, why is everybody a super soldier now? Like, I don't like it. Can I have a different origin story, please? All the female characters are.
All the Infinity Stones, I guess, are like taking human hosts. Like they're in that Wolverine and.
Yeah, I understand that, but
yeah,
but she's got like the Reality Stone, right?
I think it's the Reality Stone. Yeah.
Yes, the Reality Stone.
So she altered her reality. It's basically a get out of jail cosmic cube card, All
right.
But really, she was a Kree human super soldier, like that whole thing. So it's just like, sick of super soldier, being the answer to everything.
All right. Watch me hurt Lilith, everyone. All right. You mean Star, or do you mean Captain Marvel Jr.?
So, well, okay. But here's a fun thing.
Probably you didn't hear that.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. Okay. So I guess you're saying Star is like they're both the children of Kree super soldiers, except if she has the Reality Stone. Who says that's her real reality?
I was gonna say, is Star part Kree? I thought she was like human, but then she came after Captain Marvel, and then she got that.
That's the twist of the book or whatever. But it's just like I just don't like it. I'm tired of everybody being a super soldier. We had this conversation about how everything is
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if she has the reality, so is Star a super soldier? Is that what you're saying? I haven't read the book.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Okay. What I'm saying
is number 1, a female-led book. It's Kelly Thompson. So I was just like, okay, this might be my cup of tea. She did a pretty decent job of making me kind of sort of care about Captain Marvel. So
I get
the origin just killed it.
Yeah. I get Charlie's point though. Maybe she wasn't, but she used the Reality Stone to give herself a superhero origin.
She doesn't even know she did it. She just retconned herself in the way that Gwenpool did in her last issue. And in the way that which was just delightful because over at Comic Book Resources they had written an article about when the Dark Avengers fought the Mighty Avengers led by Hank Pym the Wasp.
Oh yeah,
and he like makes the mention and they're like going for the cosmic cube power in the Absorbing Man's what do you call it? Ball and chain. And just before they grab it, Hank Pym says, "What do you mean? You already grabbed it." He says, "What? What do you think this is? You're the head of Hammer. Clearly, you already grabbed it, and you already took over the universe and have changed it to be this." And it's like, wait, is that how that works? Because if she gets hit by the reality stone, she might not realize that she's rewriting her own reality.
Oh, I thought.
So maybe she was just, a mousy little librarian, because that's always who finds these.
Or
things.
she was like a reporter. She was like a reporter.
She's a reporter.
Or at least.
And
that's
worst
what
of all,
she
she's got the
remembers now.
alliteration in her name. I'm just saying, you know how I feel about that. Her name is freaking Ripley Ryan, and I was just like, oh, another worst of all list.
Yeah, that's why I always loved Bob Reynolds this century, because it was always about how he's not really supposed to be a comic book character because his name doesn't.
Well, Bob, couldn't that be short for Robert?
It's
Well,
short
it
for
is short for
Robert.
Robert. He goes
Or
by
it could be
Bob.
short for Bobby. Some people do name their children Bobby.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a Southern thing. I've
Yeah.
learned that the hard way.
No, it's not. Oh, well, for men. No.
Usually, then it's a female name.
Well, Charlie, you were mentioning that Mighty Avengers. I thought you were going to mention the scene when Hank Pym and Osborn are face to face, and Osborn's like, "Oh, still beating your women," and and then Pym says to him, "Oh yeah, still dropping yours off bridges."
That's classic. Well, they do.
Burn!
They both do not have the best history with their female partners. Now, what was I don't even know.
Oh Lord, let's not get into.
Making that whole thing a triangle was a very odd choice. That's all I'm going to say.
We never.
It was a very odd choice. Someone had something in their Kool-Aid that should not have been there when they came up with that idea.
Amen. All right. Did everyone read Immortal Hulk?
Yes, it wasn't horrible this week.
Good to know.
That was almost a passable book. They did some nice little, if you can go out in the sun, maybe that means, it's actually about the personalities kind of coming to terms with each other. But then what does that mean if Banner's coming to terms with the Devil Hulk?
Yeah.
And I like how they really describe Sunshine Joe as being like, really kind of almost makes it sound like he's really the base personality now.
Well, yeah, I mean they even made that call back to the Peter David stuff. It's like, Banner couldn't get when he couldn't acknowledge the Grey Hulk, that's when he only came out at night. But then the minute he started coming to terms with Joe, that's when towards the end, before they merged, that's when Joe was able to come out in the daylight and kick Super Skrull's butt. Yeah.
Joe's cool.
Oh.
But again, I think we can all agree Joe should be the base personality.
Joe should be the Hulk all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's the best.
We need Grey Hulk in the MCU. Come on, people.
I think. Well, you know what? I think because there's talk.
Vegas, baby.
There is talk.
Vegas.
We haven't seen the last of because a lot of stuff is home now. They're saying because Namor, they say, is back. Like the rumor now is both Namor and Hulk are fully freed from Universal's clutches. I think that because we had a damaged Professor Hulk, I think it's time for a different Hulk to emerge. And the idea of Joe Fixit is the logical next choice.
And again, Doctor Strange is introducing us to the multiverse. So yeah, I know.
First off, I don't like the multiverse concept in the MCU.
DC.
I mean, I like the multiverse concept as there's a multiverse and then la-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But we need a central continuity. You need a 616.
Yes.
And as I say, everyone thinks they're in the 616. Really, we don't even know if the 616 is the 616. It's like every universe thinks it's the 616. Every universe needs to have its own. You need a central existence. You need a central continuity. You can't. But you go, well, in this universe we have Joe Fixit, and it's fine to introduce the character in the multiverse, but then I want a Joe Fixit in MCU proper.
Oh my god, Charlie! I know we're not doing solo Hulk movies anymore because Universal rights or whatever. Maybe
that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, maybe not. But I mean, I'd love to see a Grey Hulk solo movie in Vegas. But oh my lord, I mean, we already talked about this. I think last week or something. But they have the right to Silver Surfer. Let's get a Defenders movie with Grey Hulk, Doctor Strange.
Well, yeah, that's the that's the suggestion.
Yes.
That if you have Namor and Hulk and Silver Surfer and Doctor Strange, we can do a Defenders proper. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's it. One thing that I did want to mention is Feige going back to TV and producing a new superhero show for ABC.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought is very interesting because it really is Feige rubbing his Feige all over it, and basically saying we're forging the new universe now under the benevolent dictatorship of Feige, the People's Republic of Feige, and that these TV shows are going to be a part of it too. So I really appreciate that. But that's just the thing I wanted to mention. So, as one who is our new mouse overlords, unlike some people,
Lilith.
I'm very happy that Feige is making that choice to bring about a new and more glorious age.
Imperious Rex.
Yeah.
Imperious Rex. Anyway, moving along.
So anyway, the best book I read did not belong to Marvel or DC.
Of course.
An Image comic book. Of course.
Ooh.
Which was it?
Okay. It was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Every 90 kid's dream come true. It's number 2. Not too late to jump in.
Oh, is that image I saw of like Michelangelo and like an orange Power Ranger? Is there a lady orange Power Ranger? Maybe I'm mistaken.
She's yellow, but the red on the cover does look a little orange.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's supposed to be Raphael? But yeah.
And didn't I see some image of Shredder as like the Green Ranger or something?
Yes.
Ooh,
so like Tommy had a deal with the Foot Clan, and then they betrayed him, and that's how Shredder comes in. And but yeah, that's like it's a whole thing. It's because like technically they did have a live action team up, but I don't think it actually made it to the American cut, if I remember right. So like this is definitely, if you can't find that footage on the internet anymore, you might want to pick up this comic book.
Wait, there was once a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Power Rangers crossover
live action, yeah.
Ninja. Wait, which Ninja Turtles was it? The one
it's from the movies. The ones from the movies. Oh. Yeah, they were actually in the movie suits. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Like I'm pretty sure it wasn't the American version of Power Rangers though. So
okay, well that's fine.
And also, but Ninja Turtles also had a live action TV show. It was very short lived. It's where they introduced Venus, the girl turtle.
Oh yeah, Venus de Milo. Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Yes, that's what I was. Was it that one? Which I enjoyed.
No. She's not canon anymore. She's never was.
No. Now they have a new female Ninja Turtle. That's who Mona Lisa is, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a new female Ninja Turtle called Mona Lisa, I think. Yeah. I knew one was Venus and one was Mona. I didn't know which was which, but. It's been a long time since not that long. It's actually only several months ago. I wanted to find it on Tubi again, like everything. It's always on Tubi. The Ninja Turtles live action series was on there. So anyway, yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome. And
I really love when Boom does the crossovers. I liked when they teamed up against when the Turtles teamed up against Batman. Teamed up with Batman. Both of those series. So pretty much anytime you see a Turtles crossover, it's really good, and you should pick it up, even if you don't know what the hell's going on. Just pick it up. You're gonna have fun.
You know what? And I like that about Boom. Boom kind of seems like it's sort of like the Switzerland of comic books right now, where
it really is. You got Firefly. You got the Magicians. That TV show. They do Buffy. So it's like a lot of Rocko's Modern Afterlife just came out in trade. So it's just like kind of like all your favorite TV properties probably have had or are going to have a comic book come out of Boom. So
yeah, but I mean also in the idea that if you have a comic book property and you don't want to do a crossover, like you don't want to like actually do a Marvel DC Alliance crossover, but you can do like a separate company crossover over at Boom. You can go to
Yeah.
Switzerland, and we can have Batman meet the Ninja Turtles. We can have Captain America meet somebody. Captain America meets Archie. That would be fun.
Is it book? No, that's Image that does the whole action, the Marvel action, right?
Yeah, because Image is actually, I think Image is actually a subsidiary of Marvel.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Image is. It's like, though that was. Like,
oh no, it's IDW that does Marvel action.
Oh,
actually. Okay. And IDW does Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too, like the proper actual Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which just hit 101, by the way, guys.
Ooh.
It was a really good book too. So
Turtles. Yeah. You know what series I really enjoyed from the 80s, which probably you guys are too young to even know, was the X-Mutants. You remember the X-Mutants? That's something that's primed for revival.
The X-Mutant? What?
The X-Mutant. Well, okay, so the X-Mutants was it was a black and white back during the boom. And it was the idea that basically after World War III, everyone's all mutated. And this scientist finds a way to unmutate people. So they become X-Mutants. And it's about this little group of the X-Mutants trying to get through this world. And everyone's like, oh, you're crazy humans. We hate you guys. And it's pretty cool. But yeah, there were only a few issues out there, but that's something that's primed for a comeback.
Phil, what was your pick of the week, hon? I know you're chomping at the bit. Come on.
Well, some of the Spider-Man.
I know we probably already talked about it on Spider-Cast, but
yeah, Spider-Man, Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality #2 was good, but I think at least on the DC side, my pick of the week is probably Batman 86, the first issue of Tynan's run.
You liking it?
I did like it. I mean, the art is great. We actually got Bruce Wayne's rebuilding Gotham, actually trying to help people with his money, Charlie, and
see what I mean? Wow. This is what I said. I was excited about Batman in 2020 because he explained his whole vision, and I was like, okay, yeah, I like that change of pace. And so I'm glad that you like it so far.
Yes, and great art by Tony S. Daniel. And just, I mean, he's dealing with Alfred's death because Lucius Fox is helping him, with the tech stuff. And after one of the big fights, he's just like, Alfred, call the cops. And
it's for real this time.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, I actually kind of hope so.
Yeah, but after one of the big fights,
that man deserves a rest.
Yeah.
If anybody deserves an Uncle Ben rest, it is Alfred. Let me tell you.
Yeah, after the big fight, he's like, Alfred, call the GCPD, and Lucius has to be like, Bruce. He's like, Alfred, I'm not Alfred, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm tired. He's like, it's just sorry, a force of habit. Like Batman getting emotional, and it's just like, and we get a.
As long as this doesn't turn into another Nightfall, I am okay. I am okay.
No, it's good because I guess Lucius is helping him develop stuff because he's using his head, using some high tech stuff. We get a Batman Deathstroke fight in this, Lilith.
I know. I read it. I read it probably way before you read it.
I didn't know you read it. Okay, I know, and I like.
Yeah, I read it probably way before you read it. So.
I like the stuff with Selena. Basically,
yes,
playing the role of the wife, even though they aren't married.
I'm glad that they could work it out, and Gotham is her home too, and I like how he's fleshing that whole thing out too.
Yes.
They're both not marriage material, if we're all going to be honest.
As I said, they're going to be
sometimes you don't need to get married. That's all that I'm saying.
I was just going to say that, Lilith. It's like, some people are happier just living their lives.
At the end of King's Run, she was wearing that engagement ring, so that's what I'm saying. They're going to be like eternally engaged,
Well, that's fine.
It's going to be like,
and that's the trope of Batman. Well, Bruce Wayne being the eternal bachelor, that whole thing too. So.
For the next 50 years, it's going to be like, oh yeah, we'll get married one day. Yeah, we'll get married.
She doesn't even really want to get married. Let's all just be honest.
She does. She's a gold digger.
No, she likes to steal her.
No, just because she's a thief doesn't make her a gold digger.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I would say that being a thief makes her the exact opposite of a gold digger.
Oh, true.
She doesn't want to dig the gold. She wants to.
She earns her own money.
Steal her own.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Don't go calling her a gold digger.
Yeah, I think that what this Batman run for 2020 is going to be, it might be something Charlie Uster likes. They might even address the orphan eating.
Well, Wayne Enterprises does make a lot of money, and that's orphan selling money. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my!
Well, you know, and hey, it's not like Gotham doesn't produce a lot of them. 90% of them created by Batman, as some poor working stiff thug gets thrown into a wood chipper by Batman. And you know,
and I just like that he's kind of happy now. He kind of has love in his life, and he kind of has a partner that's not a Robin. You know.
Yeah.
Since
although they do need to make up, and I feel like that's gonna happen.
Who? Him, Bruce, and Damian.
Dick has to get his life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
everybody kind of has to get their life together.
Yeah,
right
Dick
now.
Grayson has to get his memory back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know. They
and now we can stop ruining Nightwing.
That's right. He's coming. Yeah, he's coming back.
They can't bring Dick back because that's Bruce's one true man, and that's gonna break him up. Him and Selena, you know that.
No, it won't.
I'm just saying. That's like, oh man.
Send to Mr. Marvel, telling us about like
He's got Babs. It's fine.
Right. Just need his memory back.
He's got Babs. And he's got Starfire. It'll be fine.
Bruce or Dick has Babs.
So on that note,
people are worse than Captain America. Just a girl in every port.
Yeah, he knows the worst. Matt Murdock.
Yeah, he's pretty bad about it too, man. But I'm just saying. I think Cap crosses every line because he's like goes across decades and like. And now it's like the original has come back from another dimension, and so
mark my words. In another 10 to 15 years, Matt Murdock's gonna have an illegitimate kid show up. Mark my word.
I'm surprised that hasn't already happened.
I know, me too. I'm just it'll happen eventually. There you go. Whoever's gonna write that.
Yeah. Well, they did write that for Cap in like the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah. Didn't he turn out to be the Red Skull of that universe or something?
Yeah, which was just
spoilers.
Cut your own face
Oh,
off.
come on, Lil. That book was out.
It was like 30 years ago.
15 years ago, Lil. Come on.
I wasn't even born yet, probably. Spoiler.
Yes, she's 12, people. You should hear her dropping out.
How old is that?
Probably could not have read the Ultimate Comics.
What do you mean, how long ago was that? I said 10 or 15 years ago, Lilith.
They kept those
Are you
behind the
sure?
comics.
At least 10 or 15 years. No, it was the Ultimate Universe. So it couldn't be, it had to be sometime after the year 1999 or 2000. 2000. The year you were born, 2000.
I wish. Not really, though. These kids are... Yuck.
Damn.
No offense. No offense to the parents on the panel. No offense.
No, hey, trust me. No one knows more about kids today than parents. Trust me. We know.
Do y'all know? I don't think you know what your kids are like when you're not looking. I see my neighbors' kids. I don't think they know. I don't think they know.
Well, maybe your neighbors don't know because I don't know your neighbors, but they're from Florida, so.
Don't jump.
Oh, ouch!
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Hey, Jersey is the northern version of Florida. Don't you dare!
Hey,
don't you dare!
Hey, those Florida families are all close. The parents are brother and sister. Come on.
No, when I'm telling you,
I didn't say Kentucky or Virginia.
West Virginia.
You know the difference between Florida and New Jersey, Lilith?
Uh-oh.
The weather.
We have snow. Yeah, exactly. And every so often, we have to stay
I don't know how
inside.
much you could say that global warming. I mean, it's like 70 degrees here today.
I know it's like 60 here. Yeah, it's pretty warm. Yeah, but so yeah, eventually Jersey will become Florida. I'm just saying we're not there yet.
Are you sure?
Need some gators.
Oh right, Jersey is the Manitoba of America. I forgot. Jersey is the Manitoba.
Yeah, you already put it, man. You got to have one consistent theme for how you're going to
Jersey, New Jersey, the Florida of the North.
I'll take that.
The Tampa of the North.
Anyway, so yeah. So
Philip, wrap
Batman.
this up.
Yes, Master. All right. My Jedi Master. All right, everyone. Send us your thoughts on TV, movies, comics. Is there anything we're not reading? I think we're pretty much reading everything. At least Lilith is. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow us on social media. Follow all of our shows on social media. All of it all in one convenient place at Linktree. That's linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors: Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer, Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. Pick it up. Oh, and hey, Lilith, Charlie had a great idea about killing two birds with one stone on super connectivity. Use the Amazon link for Southgate Media Group. Go on Amazon and buy yourself Pod Life the book, or for someone you love.
I already did that, so but that's an excellent idea, Charlie,
Yeah,
for our listeners.
Master
As
Doom.
much as I shop on Amazon, I'm pretty sure I'm paying a lot of this bandwidth, homie.
Master Doom is the figurehead. You are the bankroll. All right. Speaking of bankroll, Miss Lilith Hellfire, Florida woman. Where can people find you?
Queen of Florida, get it right.
Oh, Queen. Yeah.
If you nerds want to hang out with me on the interwebs, you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire and over on Instagram for my Capes and Lunatics peoples at Lilith Hellfire 69 because I'm a child.
Hello, Megan.
All right. There's a good, better one. All right, Charlie Esser.
Well, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way where Mars and Paz once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter so that I tweet things when they show up at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing.
Thank you, Maz.
Maz and Paz. Thank you from me, from Lilith, from our pretty boy. Come back next week. But until then, we have been the Capes.
Capesand
Lunatics. Oh, look at that.
Wow. Oh, here's the big question. Here's the big question.
Figuring out how to do the hair.
Oh, Lord. The hair.
How to figure
Lilith,
that
when Birds of Prey comes out, should we do an episode on that?
Yes, we have to. If we did it on Joker, we have to do it for Birds of Prey.
Poop on.
I mean, you poor saps are going to have to go pay for it, though, so discuss it amongst yourselves.
Yeah, we know how Lilith is people to pay.
Oh, I may have a job soon.
That's